day when we shall know exactly what electricity is will chronicle an event probably greater, more important than any other recorded in the history of the human race. Then it will be a mere question of time when men will succeed in attaching their machinery to the very wheelwork of nature. See the excitement coming.
Here's your list of charges. You hacked into the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Department of Defense, and NASA, amongst other things. Why?
I was in search of suppressed technology, laughingly referred to as UFO technology. I think it's the biggest kept secret in the world because of its comic value. We've got old-age pensioners can't pay their fuel bills. We've got countries being invaded to get award oil contracts to the West. And meanwhile, secretive parts of the secret government are sitting on suppressed technology for free energy.
The HARP project evolved from a patent filed in 1987 in which Tesla's work is referenced. It proposed using the ionosphere like an enormous electrical circuit to transmit power around the planet. It even described a means of changing the weather by superheating portions of the upper atmosphere with microwave energy.
Tesla proposed that it might be possible to modify the weather by using...
Did you find what you were looking for?
Yeah.
With oil prices soaring and fuel protests spreading across the globe, it almost sounds too good to be true. A car that runs on nothing but water. And all kinds of water will do. River, rain or sea, they all make this car mobile. Even tea works. Japanese company Genpax unveiled the eco-friendly vehicle in Osaka. Once water is poured into the car's tank, an energy generator takes hydrogen from the water, releasing electrons that power the car.
The main characteristic of this car is that no external input is needed. The car will continue to run for as long as you have a bottle of water inside for you to add from time to time.
There's a group called the Disclosure Project. They published a book which had 400 expert witnesses ranging from civilian air traffic controllers through military radar operators right up to the chaps that are responsible as to whether or not to launch nuclear missiles. So some very credible, very relied upon people, all saying that yes, there's UFO technology, there's anti-gravity, there's free energy, and it is extraterrestrial in origin, and we've captured spacecraft and reverse engineered it. And these are, very solid, reliable chaps in charge of launching nuclear missiles. So.
Mach, your range is 10 miles now, sir. It's coming down through 200,000 feet. 10 miles, 200,000 feet, thank you.
10 miles from vertical flight, and it's through 200,000 feet.
Copy.
Manager, MCC, we are able to identify a tumbling object.
Copy.
And Mission Manager, MTC, be advised, from our vantage point, we do not see a drogue chute, negative drogue.
Sen görüyor musun?
Gördüm.
Aa, nasıl bir şey bu ya? He?
Felaket.
Abi erken çıktılar. 2:20 geçiyor saat.
Saat belli olmaz ki ya.
He? Abi bu manyak bir şey ya. Bunda ışığı ilk defa parlak. Aha. He?
Tabii ya.
Alkan bu ne böyle ya? Abi gidiyor değil mi Alkan?
Gidiyor
He? Nerede? Denize doğru gidiyor değil mi?
Denize.
Aha şekil değişti. Aa, şekil değişti Salih.
Işıklarını mı kıstı?
Yo, hiçbir şey yapmadı. Baba şekil değiştiriyor. Baba ışık gidiyor bir yana. Bak. Duruyor bu. Yemin duruyor. Baba ışık da öbür tarafa gidiyor. Ciddi söylüyorum, ışık bir tarafa gidiyor. Ana. Ya böyle bir şey yok Alkan. Uzaklaştı bak, fokus oldu. Heh. Baba ışık gidip geliyor. Sence nedir bu Alkan ya? Duruyor ama değil mi daha?
Duruyor.
In April of 1979, cosmonaut Viktor Afanasyev lifted off from Star City to dock with the Soviet Soyuz 6 space station. But while en route, something strange happened. Cosmonaut Afanasyev saw an unidentified object turn toward his craft and begin tailing it through space.
It followed us during half of our orbit. We observed it on the light side, and when we entered the shadow side, it disappeared completely. It was an engineering structure made from some type of metal, approximately 40 meters long with inner holes. The object was narrow here and wider here, and inside there were openings. Some places had projections like small wings. The object stayed very close to us. We photographed it, and our photos showed it to be 23 to 28 meters away.
In addition to photographing the UFO, Afanasyev continually reported back to Mission Control about the craft's size, its shape, and position. When the cosmonaut returned to Earth, he was debriefed, told never to reveal what he knew, and had his cameras and film confiscated. Those photos and his voice transmissions from space have never been released.
One of these people was a NASA photographic expert, and she said that in Building 8 of Johnson Space Center, they regularly airbrushed out images of UFOs from the high-res satellite imaging.
Dr. Story Musgrave is a veteran of 5 American shuttle missions, who has seen and photographed several unidentified flying objects in space. Dr. Musgrave does not believe they are craft from another planet.
On 2 of my missions, and I still don't have an answer, I have seen a snake out there, 6, 7, 8 feet long. It is rubbery because it has internal waves in it, and it follows you for a rather long period of time. The more you fly in space, the more you see an incredible amount of things out there, and that sort of brings to you really a certainty that other living creatures are out there. Some incredibly primitive, more primitive, some just proteins coming together, amino acids, and some just single cellular organisms, and other civilizations have been around for a million years that are doing unimaginable kinds of things.
Cosmonaut Afanasyev believes that the UFO he sighted and photographed in 1979 was evidence of just this kind of distant, superintelligent civilization. Does the United States have similar evidence that they're also hiding?
No, I'm sure they would divulge it. That's what NASA's all about. It's about.
During my flight on Gemini 4 in 1965, I saw an object in space fairly close to our spacecraft that I could not identify. It looked to me like maybe the upper stage of another rocket. I tried to take some pictures of it, but unfortunately the pictures did not come out properly. We never were able to identify what it was, and all of our ground radar tracking data indicated that there shouldn't have been another object anywhere near us at the time.
I read about this incident you had in 1951, and you said you saw literally hundreds of unidentifiable flying objects.
Yes, they were flying quite high. How high we couldn't tell because we couldn't get anywhere near their altitude. But they were either very large craft way up or smaller crafts still well above what we could get to.
For a day and a half, all of this happened, but then no one wanted to talk about it.
We should go boldly where man has not gone before.
Control Houston, we are using the payload bay cameras right now to hopefully catch a glimpse of the Russian space station Mir as it performs an on-orbit burn. Though it will be difficult to pick Mir out from the stars as they pass behind us, the payload bay cameras are positioned such that they're looking straight back behind the orbiter, where the Mir is flying at about 850 nautical miles behind us.
No joy from here, Story. Hope it was a good one, though, for our friends.
Thank you, sir. We could not see it here either. We'll wait 2 or 3 more minutes till sunrise, and then at that time give you a go for KU stow.
We're at a mission lapse time of 7 days, 13 hours, and 17 minutes. This is Mission Control Houston. The Mir space station is now visible on the far left-hand side of the screen, about an inch from the bottom of this particular picture. Okay, the Mir space station is the small flashing light in the center, about an inch from
Camera Charlie on a monitor.
the left-hand side of the screen. It's slowly...
Tally ho on the camera.
It is slowly moving closer to the left-hand side and is has a very light flashing to it.
We think on the middle of the screen, way to the left-hand side. We think you can see a flashing light just a little bit to the left of the center of the screen, very faint.
Yeah, we do see something flashing visually, but we're not sure that might be...
Astronaut Lake Worth resident Edgar Mitchell has raised some eyebrows and ruffled some feathers with his claims.
Tonight, News Channel 5's Tim Malloy goes one-on-one with this true believer.
With his beloved terrier in his lap in his comfortable Lake Worth home, he could be a retired insurance salesman. But take a look at Edgar Mitchell's wall, his photo gallery, that picture taken on the moon, February the 6th, 1971.
What more can an explorer want than to be where humans have never been and to observe, gather your data, go back and tell the people.
Ed Mitchell can captivate you talking about his 9-hour and 17-minute moonwalk. It was a record. But there's something else he'd like you to know.
I don't know how many or where or how they're doing it, but They've been observing us and here for quite some time, and we see these craft all the time.
Ed Mitchell is a straight talker and a true believer that we are not alone.
I believe what I'm saying, and I cite the evidence that I know.
He says that the government he served in the military and as an astronaut is perpetuating cover-ups of alien sightings, going all the way back to the legendary 1947 Roswell incident, an alleged alien spacecraft crash where remains were allegedly recovered.
The reason for the denial was, number one, they didn't know if these were hostile and could we protect ourselves from them. Didn't want the Soviets to know, so they devised to lie about it and cover it up.
Mitchell is unbothered by critics who think the guy with the right stuff has taken a wrong turn. He has no doubt there are alien craft observing Earth right now, and many more out there looking for us. How many civilizations could there be, or do you believe there are out there?
Billions. We've got billions and billions of stars in a galaxy, and billions of galaxies, and it doesn't take but a few planets around a few stars to have quite a few civilizations.
Dr. Mitchell is one of only 12 people who have walked on the moon. He says he has never personally seen an alien, but believes the people who say they have.
Everything's in its little compartment, buried away very, very secretly, whether it deals with mind control or UFOs or maybe secret biological weapons or what have you. Secrecy is the norm, not the exception.
But how much don't we know as a society?
There are sensitive operations that are kept secret that is critical to the success of those operations. But having said that, there's a lot that's swept into that zone, which for reasons that really are not about security, but could be done because if the public knew, they wouldn't want it being done in their name.
In 2008, the UK declassified its UFO records. And for the first time, witnesses, including members of the U.S. military, have been able to publicly come forward with their stories.
I couldn't tell them what I had done because it was top secret.
Milton Torres is a retired U.S. fighter pilot. In 1957, while stationed in the UK, a strange assignment came over his radio.
They had informed me that this was going to be an active firing mission. Then they said, this is an unidentified flying object. We want you to shoot this thing down.
When Torres reached the designated coordinates, a giant object appeared on his radar screen.
It was doing maneuvers that I couldn't follow. It would stop and then take off. Right angles. I got in, within 20 seconds to go, when all of a sudden it just disappeared. I mean, it took off something like 10 times the speed of sound. This is faster than anything we have on the drawing board. I was afraid for my life.
Torres returned to base and was ordered to never reveal what he saw in the air.
They said that this mission has been declared top secret. You're not to discuss this with anyone, not your wife, not your commander, not anyone. If you violate top secret instructions, you can go to jail.
To this day, Torres does not know what it was he saw on his radar screen, but he has his suspicions.
I don't think we're alone. And whoever built that machine knew a hell of a lot more than I did.
Could stories like Torres's still be under lock and key within the U.S. government's UFO files? Even some politicians believe the answer is yes. Former Arizona Governor Fife Symington, who witnessed the unexplained Phoenix lights, believes it was a UFO and that it was covered up by the U.S. government.
I witnessed a massive delta-shaped craft that silently navigated over North Phoenix. We want the United States government to stop perpetuating the myth that all UFOs can be explained away in down-to-earth and conventional terms.
And Ohio Congressman Dennis Kucinich says he witnessed a UFO as well.
Congressman Kucinich, did you see a UFO?
I did. It was unidentified flying object, okay? It's like, it's unidentified. I saw something.
Does the government know something about alien technology that it isn't telling us?
I am convinced that our government has
physical evidence, has answers, has information pertaining to the actual existence of UFOs.
Many believe if there is evidence of UFOs, it is held deep underground here at the remote Air Force Base in Nevada, commonly known as Area 51. The heavily guarded base is so shrouded in security and mystery, it wasn't even acknowledged by the government until 1994. Even today, it is hard to sort out who officially oversees it. We filed a written request for access, but weeks went by with no reply. So we decided to call.
We put in an official request to film at the government facility at Groom Lake, also known as Area 51. I do think that there is some merit to be able to get onto a base such as yours and see what actually is there and what kind of programs taxpayer dollars are paying for. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. You said that you would be willing to look at our request.
While we wait for a reply, we focus on another location steeped in lore. Camp Hero State Park in Montauk, New York. Author and investigator Richard Dolan heads there to look into claims of covert mind control, time travel, and teleportation experiments conducted by the government in underground facilities.
I want to find some kind of evidence to show that there may have been substantial underground activity around here. If we get that, maybe we can have another jumping off point for a further investigation.
From 1942 to 1982, Camp Hero was a military base where servicemen were often on the lookout for enemy planes or submarines. But according to Stuart Swerdlow, the base also had a darker side. He claims that from 1970 to 1983, the government experimented on him at Camp Hero as part of a program he calls the Montauk Project.
It was actually begun as a project for mind control, programming, genetic manipulation, and esoteric weaponry. Part of the Montauk Project involved time travel or opening up dimensional doorways from one point to another point.
Swerdlow says he, along with thousands of other people, were taken off the streets and from their homes and brought to an underground facility at Camp Hero.
The Montauk base on the surface was a derelict or old Air Force base. Underneath, there were 9 levels where the operations took place. There were centers where they would keep people sequestered.
It may sound far-fetched, but the U.S. government conducting secret experiments on Americans without their permission is not. It has hidden programs from its citizens in the past and stashed away or destroyed the evidence. Like the medical research done for 40 years on poor black men in Tuskegee, Alabama. They were secretly mistreated for syphilis by the government in an effort to see how they would react. It's only one of the insidious programs uncovered over time.
At the height of the Cold War, we now know that the United States military was using the American people as guinea pigs, basically releasing radiation into populated areas to see how fast radiation would spread. The military was experimenting on people without their permission, injecting people with plutonium, which is, of course, one of the most toxic chemicals known to science. They even gassed the New York subway system.
But perhaps the most shocking programs involve mind control experiments carried out from the 1950s to the 1970s. The most infamous among them was MK Ultra.
MK Ultra was a top secret project to see whether or not mind control was a possibility. The military and the CIA began to look into the possibility of LSD, mind-altering hallucinogenic drugs that could brainwash people. Well, the consequences of this, of course, are enormous because this was uncharted territory. People went crazy. We were destroying people's minds.
Retired Army officer Michael Bailey says he was one of the military's test subjects.
They said the tests were safe. There was nothing to be scared of.
Bailey was stationed at the Edgewood Arsenal military base in Maryland in the mid-1970s after volunteering for what he thought was a program to test uniforms and equipment.
they explained that we were going to be testing equipment of the battlefields of the future, and it sounded exciting.
But in fact, Bailey says he and hundreds of other soldiers were injected with LSD and other harmful drugs or exposed to dangerous gases to see how they would behave. We obtained this once restricted training video shot by the military, which shows some of the effects of the experiments conducted on their own men stationed at Edgewood.
6.5 hours after exposure time, the confused volunteer needed help as he attempted to traverse part of an obstacle course. At this point, hallucinations and other mental disturbances were evident.
Looking back, Bailey believes his government betrayed him.
You trusted the government, you trusted the Army. It was a bunch of lies. There was a lot of harm done at Edgewood, Arsenal.
More than 100 of these mind control experiments were conducted at military bases, in hospitals, and at leading universities like Princeton and Harvard. But these programs had some disastrous consequences.
There were a number of suicides, a number of unsuccessful suicides. One man who had been dosed with LSD actually tried to commit suicide on his front lawn in front of his children and was in a what's commonly called a flashback state.
The truth behind MK Ultra was only revealed in the mid-1970s. All the classified documents were ordered to be destroyed by the head of the CIA. But about 10 boxes of financial records were overlooked, and a small portion of the dark truth was uncovered.
The thing about MK Ultra we have to remember is that we have very little information about the specifics of the programs, and that is because most of those records were destroyed.
Without comprehensive records about who exactly was involved, some speculate that MK Ultra victims may have changed the course of history.
The assassin of Robert F. Kennedy, Sirhan Sirhan, has been speculated for a long time to have been a mind control victim.
At Harvard, it's interesting to note, one of the students involved in the experiments there was the Unabomber.
If experiments like MK Ultra took place without public knowledge, is it possible the Montauk Project is another example of a government program that to this day remains classified?
We only learned about MK Ultra by accident. It could so easily be the case that had all those records been properly destroyed, to this day, all MK Ultra would be rumor. When I think about that in connection with something like Montauk, it makes me think that it's just possible that the Montauk Project remains rumor because simply the guys running the security did a better job than they did with MK Ultra.
Yeah, I got it. I don't know what that is. Dude, y'all see that crap?
Yeah, I see it. Oh my God!
Look! Alright, what the fuck is all that right there? It's like helicopters going towards it. Hey, we need to take, what is that, 51?
Hey, that is a helicopter, ain't it?
Those two riding low, yeah.
Are they going for the lights?
I don't know, they just lowered. They got lowered. That one right there.
Dude, look, they're moving, look.
Hey, let's see if we get closer. Come on, man.
Dude, man, I can't stop filming. You see, the helicopter just disappeared.
Oh my God.
Come on, y'all. Let's go see.
Now, by the time we get closer, man, they're gonna be gone.
Yeah, they're gonna be gone by the time we get close.
No, dude, we already got the footage. You could just give me the camera while we're driving over there. I can get something awesome, but we're not even looking.
Hold on, I need to get this like still so I can get a focus on it.
What the fuck is that? It's like so many like fucking helicopters around it. Look, if you look real hard, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 of them.
Y'all want to try to get close?
Let's try to get closer, dude.
I wonder where it's at. Y'all think this is good enough footage?
Yeah, this
People
is
believe
good.
what
Right
this
here.
is?
Let's go. Come on, come on.
Dude, I wonder if we're the only ones seeing this shit. Dude, man.
Shit. I'm telling you, dude. They're getting closer or something.
Dude, those aren't airplanes, dude.
Let's go.
Look at these helicopters. Look at these helicopters. Look at these helicopters.
Oh my God.
Look.
I'm getting on top of this car. What if they all like came over this way.
Oh, dude. Look, there's one helicopter.
1, 2.
There's 2
3,
helicopters.
4, 5, 6. Dude, let's get close. Come on. Let's
Dude, we're not. Let me get a little bit more footage.
Imagine, they're probably 3 miles away.
Dude, that's a helicopter, man. And those things right there. Well, we're missing one. They're going away. One just left. There was 5. Now, then there was 4.
For a while, anyways. Come on, dude. Let's see if we can get closer.
Where's it going, man?
God, they're chilling, man.
Dude, look at that helicopter.
Their lights are just gleaming over here, man.
See them helicopters?
Yeah, they're everywhere. 1, 2, 3.
All right, this one ain't disappeared. It's still going towards it. There's the other one.
All right, come on, man.
Hold on, man.
Shit, about time we get in the car.
No, they're gonna be gone. They're gonna be gone.
Are they going up?
I mean, does people not see this shit? It is so noticeable.
Look, they're like they dropped something right there.
No, dude, they're getting close. They're coming like, I swear they're coming this way. Listen, look, Dedrick, they're shining. Look at that.
Look at those 2 dots under it.
Yeah. I think those are helicopters.
3 dots.
3 of them. They,
Oh.
they can't even get near them. That's too high for a helicopter.
Dude, I ain't moving, man. Dude, this is some good ass footage. Excuse my French. Alright, one's leaving it.
Yep, I see it.
Yeah.
We're the only ones that do.
I think, dude.
Nah, man. People ain't people.
Down there? Come here.
I see it.
At the bottom.
Uh-huh. Alright, one's gone.
But those could be helicopters, dude.
Them 3 dots down there?
Yeah.
It's probably those helicopters that like vanished behind them houses. Hey, are those more helicopters?
Yeah.
Oh,
What the
Jesus.
hell? I'm telling you, if we could get closer, we'll see all this shit.
What are those helicopters doing there?
I don't even know, dude. This is like, how many helicopters just passed by?
Those are 3. There's 4 right there. No, that's going that way.
What the crap,
Dude, I don't even know. Oh, dude. This is some good. I can't even
Hey,
move.
you're on top of the car, you see everything.
Them helicopters are like moving.
Y'all think that's in Memphis?
Something.
Like down there by, down Airways? By the airport? Y'all want to go down there?
Yeah, that's near the airport. That's right over the airport, dude. Let's go. Come on, let's go.
Because of the light. Well, here's the plane. No, them planes are all out there looking.
Right, there's a helicopter up there and everything.
They're looking to see
So it must be a
what this
military operation or something.
This is the military. I mean, you got 2 planes in the air. Look at all of these.
The planes in the air is because there's a threat in the air. They can't let you land because there's stuff out there.
Because it's moving the planes, they're not landing at the airport. Was it a movie? But those lights, you can't barely, they go all the way down that way. It's like these come all this way. Yeah, that's it. These are choppers out there, planes, they just circle. Oh, that's interesting.
What is this? What star is this?
Who?
Straight up.
That's Greg.
That's probably Venus.
He should know. He's a Navy man.
Well, this is a clear night, too.
Man, we just got off the airplane.
these over here. This one, Bert. There's some right there. I know, but these here, these are the planes that see. These planes keep circling those. Independence Day.
No Independence Day.
Electrical wizard and radio pioneer announced that he was working on a machine to create a powerful electrical death beam which could wipe out armies in a flash and destroy huge fleets of ships or planes.